Hello and welcome back to the channel. It's Irad and today going to talk about the brand new jump points that we are going to have in Alpha 4.0. We had a dedicated episode of Inside Star Citizen about this new phenomenon, and it seems that this particular gameplay feature has seen some changes compared to the last few times that we got to see it. So that's what we're going to be doing in this video. We are going to check out the similarities first and then the difference, basically what's new with those new jump points and what we should be expecting next. But first, guys, let's talk about this month giveaway. We've got a massive giveaway. It's a Drake Ironclad with LTI. All you have to do to join is to either join via our Gleam contest, or you can become a patron, and YouTube members have automatic access by entering your name on Discord, or also join our video sharing contest on Discord. Good luck to everyone. So the jump points. First, let's have a look at what is going to be remaining the same. I think it's safe to assume that what we saw in Inside Star Citizen, although it is labeled as work in progress, is something that's going to be very similar to what we are going to be seeing in Alpha 4.0. So we are still going to have a tunnel that we are going to have to go through with possible different exits. This is something that we have seen for years, ever since the very first concept images and concept videos of the jump points. There have been ideas of possibly going through different exit points here, and this is still going to be the same. It's still going to be possible to get kicked out of the tunnel at a random location, either in the starting system or in the original system. This is going to be depending on how far you are going to have to travel inside the tunnel. So we could assume that it's probably going to be halfway through a tunnel, you're going to be jumped out at a random location at your next star system, and if you get kicked out before that, it's going to be at your original system. Now, they didn't say exactly how far it's going to be from the entry point, but they did say that it's going to be a random, so it's going to be also interesting to see, to figure out where we are going to be. Are we going to have enough quantum fuel to go to the next station to then maybe get extra quantum fuel or repair our ships? They also said that we're going to be suffering from distortion damage, and also going to be interesting to see how much damage the ship is going to be sustaining from being kicked out from a tunnel. And speaking of which, how do you get kicked out of the tunnel? That is, if you navigate poorly through the tunnel, and we are still going to have to navigate through the tunnel. Although the tunnel is said to be acting as a loading screen between two planetary systems, which means that the whole experience will have to be lasting 3 minutes or so, we are still going to have some kind of interaction, right? It's going to be acting as an interactive loading screen, if you may say so. So it's going to be a really interesting mix of gameplay and loading screen at the same time. I love the concept. So it's not really going to be like your regular quantum travel, where you basically can just take a break, go to the bathroom, get some coffee, and then go back to your seat and wait until you are at your destination. That's really not going to be like that. You are really going to have to pilot your ship and make sure that you stay in the center of the tunnel and avoid the sides of the tunnel as much as possible in order to avoid getting distortion damage and then get kicked out. Also, we are still going to need to call the ATC, because we used to have, and it's something that we're going to be talking about later, we used to have jump gates, but that's not the case anymore, but we're still going to have to call the ATC to get in. So we're going to perhaps get some kind of traffic control to see who gets an authorization to get in or not. Also, we are still going to get uncharted jump points. Some of them will be temporary with limited uses. That means that after a couple of uses, these jump points will eventually disappear. It's going to be really interesting for exploration gameplay, very useful for the future when we will be able to sell the data. Maybe some smugglers or criminals will be able to buy that data, see where those jump points are going to be located, use them to avoid maybe security measures or controls, and then get to whatever destination they want to be going. So that's going to be coming, but it's not going to be coming with Alpha 4.0. It will be in future patches. Now, that's what remains the same compared to what we already knew, but what about what is new? Well, what's new is that we are no longer going to have a jump gate, which, I don't know, some people think it's a shame. Some people really like the jump gates. They look really cool, but the whole location is going to look more natural, right? It's not just going to be the outside that's going to be looking more natural, but also the inside too, with a lot of what they call ethereal effects here, with really smooth transitions in terms of light For example, the whole landscaping inside the tunnel is very bespoke, but at the same time really shows your progression from the location where you're starting to the location where you're going. But yeah, as a result, the jump gates are gone. It kind of magnifies, I think, the whole jump point. As far as I'm concerned, I don't really mind. I was fine with a jump gate. I was fine with no jump gate. If you have strong feelings about that, also let me know in the comment section down below. Also, there seemed to be some new lore about how the jump gates work, or at least the jump points, right? So it seems that now these jump points are activated if they get some kind of interaction with quantum energy. So our ships are going to be shooting some kind of quantum energy beam to activate those jump points, and then we will be able to go in. Also, there is not going to be any camping outside of these exit points. That's wonderful. CIG knows that this is really something that could be quite immersion breaking, game breaking, right? Having some kind of orgs or groups of people just camping outside and just shooting at whatever is coming out. This is not going to be happening, and that's why these jump points here, these jump tunnels, actually are just one way. You're not going to be seeing traffic on the other side. That's something that we already knew, but at the same time, the people who go out of these will be coming out at random locations. Not too far from the jump point though, but still random locations, which is going to make it difficult for enemy players to just figure out where ships are going to be coming out. And I think that's really good here. It's giving an opportunity for traders or people who are on the run to just escape any possible people who are chasing after them. Also, it seems that the jump point station in Paro doesn't seem to be a derelict station, which perhaps could be a unique spot in the Paro system, which is kind of like really in a derelict state, in a very poor state. It's a ruin, this whole Paro system, but it seems that this one station outside of the jump point seems to be in working order here, and they do say in Inside Star Citizen that they want this to be like a unique safe spot in the Paro system where players are going to be able to go there, repair, maybe do some trade, and then go out, have their own adventure in the Paro system. It's perhaps going to be also a good place to set a respawn point as well. So, what should we expect next? Well, Star Citizen of 3.24 is still in evocative phase, but it was said that a blocker was recently resolved, so maybe we'll get to see Wave 1 as early as next week, and then possibly, as I said, a possible release before the end of the month, and then we'll move on to perhaps Alpha 4.0. In Inside Star Citizen, Jared confirmed that CIG's plans, at least they hope to release 4.0 before the point that we call the end of the year, so it could be CitizenCon or maybe the International Aerospace Expo. If 3.24 releases before the start of August, there's little chance, but we can still hope, right? Then we should move on to 4.0 testings right after, which could give us a 2 to 3 month window if Evocati and Evocati/PTU tests are actually doing well. Well, that is all for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. As always, I wouldn't be able to make all of that content without my Patreon and YouTube members, including Dr. Forbin, Zero Crush, Deploy, Fidel, Ducky to Ducker, and Shadow Rise. If you too want to help, you have the links in the description down below, or just subscribing to the channel also greatly helps and is much appreciated. Thank you so much for watching. I've been Irad. I'll see you guys in the next one.
Just focus on the story.